welcome back to my channel. And I know this video has been highly anticipated, but I am so happy to say that we are finally pregnant. If you guys are new to my channel, we did IVF. We had to do 2 frozen embryo transfers, and I also did an ERA test, and my second embryo transfer was successful, and we are expecting twins. We did 2 embryos on March 26th, and they both took, and we're so excited to be on this journey. I'm very out of breath. I apologize for taking so long to update you guys. I wanted to do a vlog of my transfer day, but unfortunately, because of everything going on, I couldn't get enough clips to make a video out of it. And my first trimester was a little hectic, so that's what I want to do today. Today's video is my first trimester recap. So I just want to share with you guys how that was going, how it is to be pregnant with twins, and how my pregnancy is going so far. I plan to do a recap every trimester. I wanted to wait after 20 weeks because we had some difficulties in the beginning, so I wanted to wait after 20 weeks to share. So I'm currently 23 weeks pregnant, and we know the genders, but we'll make a separate video for our gender reveal, and we're very excited. So my frozen embryo transfer was on March 26th, and we were so lucky to get in that week because after my transfer, all procedures got canceled with my fertility doctor's office because of our state's regulations. So we were so lucky. We were scared we were actually going to get canceled, but we didn't. So that's another reason why we couldn't get enough clips of our transfer, because they were literally trying to squeeze everybody who was in treatment in and get them done. So it was very chaotic. It was nothing like my first transfer. My first transfer felt so peaceful and it was so happy. And I don't know if it's because it was the second time around and we knew what to expect, but it was just a little bit lackluster, and it felt very rushed. We were like in and out. It was a little bit crazy. With this transfer, I did have symptoms, which I didn't experience last time. So day 2 post-transfer, day 2 post-transfer, I started to experience some cramps, which I didn't get cramps until day 5 of my last transfer, but I believe that was because it failed and my period was coming. These cramps, I believe, were implantation cramps. I didn't have spotting or anything, but I did have mild cramps, and it lasted throughout the night. I also felt breast tenderness, which I can't recall if I felt the last time or not, but this time I had felt breast tenderness, and I felt out of breath, but I didn't know if that was pregnancy related or hormone related. April 4th was my first beta test, and my first beta test was, my first HCG level was 409, and my clinic was very happy with that because it was a really high number. They said anything over 5 is pregnant, but they like to see numbers over 35, and mine was 409. So that night, my fertility doctor actually gave me a call. He was like, we think you could actually be pregnant with twins because the number was so high, but we can't confirm until your first ultrasound. So they were very pleased with the numbers. I went in 48 hours after, and the numbers more than doubled. I was in the 1,000 range, and then another 48 hours I went in, and I was at 2,000, like almost 2,500. I was in the 2,000 range. So typically my clinic does 4 beta tests, but because my numbers were so high, they were like, we're just going to schedule you for an ultrasound because your numbers are so high and we don't have any reason to believe that they're going to decline. I went in at week 5 for my ultrasound, and then they did confirm it was 2 babies, 2 separate sacs. Yeah, so it was definitely the 2 embryos that we implanted. They did both attach. At 5 weeks is when my sense of smell was very heightened, and still with the breast tenderness. But I was just so surprised because I thought that, you know, those kind of symptoms didn't happen until a little bit later. But I was so surprised at 5 weeks I was already having symptoms. And I had increased hunger. So not crazy, but I'm the type of person, you know, I always have a doggy bag when I go to a restaurant. I don't really finish like large portions or anything like that. So you know, when I was like finishing my whole meal, I was like, okay, yeah, that's definitely you know, pregnancy related. Week 6 was when we started getting complications. So I went in for my week 6 ultrasound. Everything looked good with the baby's heart rate was good. But that night when I came home, I started to have very heavy bleeding, and we actually thought it was going to be a miscarriage. And we actually wound up going to the hospital because we were so scared. And thank goodness everything checked out. They said, you know, right now the babies look good. We don't know if you're going to miscarry or not. Both their heartbeats are good. The heart rates are good. Everything looks normal for where you are in your pregnancy. So I had to decrease all activity. So that was really hard for me because at this point we were in quarantine, and you know, I was keeping busy by doing things around the house, keeping myself busy, and you know, passing the time like that. And to be put on basically bed rest was not what I was wanting. But you know, I didn't want to lose this pregnancy, so I just had to you know, just follow doctor's orders. But it was really tough, and I had spotting I had the really bad bleeding the one night that we went to the hospital, and then I continued to spot until about 11 weeks, which was, I knew spotting was normal, but after bleeding so heavily, like I felt like I was walking on eggshells, and I felt like this pregnancy was gonna end. So that was really scary for me. So if anybody else experiences bleeding, they told me that it's more common in IVF pregnancies, which I didn't know. Any spotting is normal, but if it's like a period type of bleeding accompanied with cramping, you know, you should contact your doctor. Week 6 also, my food aversion started. Luckily I didn't have morning sickness throughout this pregnancy. But week 6, my fatigue also set in. I was very extremely tired. And sorry, my dogs they won't leave me alone. Hi. So week 6, I was also very fatigued, which that set in. And so I was fatigued, I had the bleeding, and my food aversion started. So I could not eat any meat. It just made me so nauseous, and I had to stick to bland foods. I had to have like oatmeal every day for breakfast, and just like really bland, boring stuff that didn't make sense. Toast, like just like random things. I couldn't eat healthy. I couldn't eat anything that I wanted to eat. I didn't like salad. I couldn't eat meat. I couldn't smell anything stinky. I just couldn't do it. So that goes along with the heightened smell that I had from week 5, which continued. Week 7, it was pretty much the same. Nothing new happened except for the fertility doctor, since I had the bleeding, wanted me to come in every week until 10 weeks. So which was nice because I got to see the babies so often, which was really, really nice. That's another thing. Once you leave the fertility clinic, they treat you so nice there. You get like special treatment, you get all these extra ultrasounds, and then when you go to your regular OB, you don't have that. You just have, well, luckily because I'm having twins, I go every 4 weeks for an ultrasound. But if it was a singleton pregnancy, you don't get that many ultrasounds, which is crazy to me. But so we week 7, no changes really, and then week 8, my food aversions got a little better. I was able to eat a little bit more stuff. Still, I couldn't eat chicken still, but I was able to eat more things. Week 9 was my first OB appointment, so that was interesting. They ordered blood work. It was like a standard appointment, standard checkup. So they did like my blood pressure, blood work, and then they did like a screening, like a swab. This is like a standard screening you have to get when you're for your first pregnancy. They did an internal check, and then again I told them about the bleeding I had and everything, and they said that still continue with the decreased activity. So no cleaning, no exercise, and I was able to do a little bit more, but they said if I increase my activity and I start to experience more bleeding, then I would have to stop. So I was able to do a little bit more, which I was happy about, but I still couldn't do much. I was very tired. I couldn't do anything. That's another reason why I couldn't film. So I wanted to film, but I didn't have any energy to film. Week 10 was a glorious week. Week 10 was a glorious week because that's when I was able to finally stop the progesterone and oil injections. I was so happy. Once I did my last injection, I literally took all the medicine, threw it in a bag, got it out of my kitchen. I didn't want to see it again. I didn't want to look at it again. It was so nice to be done that medication. Just the injection itself doesn't hurt. It's just the soreness that you experience afterwards. You're injecting yourself every day. Like I switch sides, but you run out of spots to do it, and sometimes you get bruising, or sometimes you get like you're just really sore. Like after you would get a flu shot, that soreness that you experience, I just couldn't wait to be done that medicine. And at 10 weeks I could finally finish, and I was starting to feel a little bit better. Week 11, I actually went back to work, which was nice. I had almost my whole first trimester off, and I went back to work, and I got more into a routine, which was nice. I had some restrictions, like no lifting, things like that, but what I do at my job is mostly desk work, so it was fine. But I started to feel better because I was back in my normal routine. I don't know if it was because being in quarantine and not talking to anybody all day, and not being able to have my normal routine, not seeing people. I think that also was very difficult. So I was happy to go back to work because I needed some normalcy in my life, and my husband's an essential worker, so he was working this whole time, so it's not like I had company. So week 11, I started to feel better. I was getting in the groove of things. I finally had put on fresh clothes, no pajamas. I was able to do my hair and my makeup, and I was feeling great. Week 12, we had our first ultrasound with our maternal fetal medicine doctor. So at my OBGYN, because I'm having multiples, they have me go to maternal fetal medicine to have my ultrasounds done, which is just a specialist, just because I'm having multiples and they need to monitor them closely. So I had my first appointment there, and we got to see the babies move, and that was such a fun appointment because up until then, all the ultrasounds that I've received, they didn't really look like a baby yet. They just look like little blobs. So the 12-week appointment, they were really taking form, and they really did look like a baby. It was a fun appointment, and they were moving around. Although I couldn't feel the movement just yet, they were moving around. And then week 13, my last week of my first trimester, and I really did start to feel a lot better. I no longer had the food aversions. I could eat chicken again. I could eat normal things again. I was able to get be on a healthier diet, and by this point I had gained probably about 10 pounds, which I was really nervous, because with multiples you want to be at a certain weight by a certain point. So you want to gain 25 pounds by 25 weeks, which when I first heard that, I just thought that was impossible. I said, how am I going to gain all this weight? I can't even eat anything. But to make it out of my first trimester and to be able to gain the almost 10 pounds, it was really nice. I was really impressed. I don't know how I did it, but it happened. So that was my first trimester. Honestly, it went a lot better, minus the bleeding. If I didn't have the bleeding in the first trimester, it would have been like a breeze compared to what I was thinking that I was going to go through when I first realized that we were actually pregnant with twins. Because I know there's a lot of people who have twins who have really bad nausea, vomiting. Some people have hyperemesis, and I was just so happy that I didn't get any of those things. The main thing that I had was food aversions and fatigue, but I was growing 2 humans, and they were growing rapidly. Obviously, in the first trimester is when they grow when they develop the most. So I'm just so happy that everything went well. So this is hopefully an encouragement to you if you found out you're pregnant with twins. It may not be so bad. You may luck out and have a really easy pregnancy. And also to anyone who has experienced bleeding in their first trimester, although it's scary, it doesn't always mean miscarriage. And as of right now, both babies are very healthy. They're growing the way they're supposed to be growing. They're actually measuring a little bit of head, which I'm happy with, because twins tend to, come early. So sometimes, and they run out of space. They run out of space sooner, so their birth weight is lower. So hopefully we are able to sustain these babies until about 37 weeks or 38 weeks. They won't let me go past that. So my technical due date would have been December 12th for 40 weeks, but because it's multiples, they won't let me go past 38 weeks, which would be November 28th. So my due date is technically November 28th at 38 weeks. So we will see how the rest of the pregnancy goes, and I will do a second trimester recap once I'm done my second trimester, which I'm currently in. So I'll do a bump shot even though I'm in my second trimester already, just so that you can see. So this will be my 23-week bump shot. and it's pretty big. I feel like it's pretty big. I feel like people that know me, they're like, oh wow, your belly's so big. And then like strangers, when I tell them that I'm having twins, first of all, they're shocked that I'm having twins, and then they want to know the gender, or they want to know the genders, and then they want to know, do twins run in your family? How does this work? Blah blah blah. It's just really fun. It's really fun to tell people that you're pregnant with twins, because although it is more common now with fertility treatments and things like that, it's still pretty rare. A lot of people don't know twins, or or if they have, it's someone that's relatively close to them or anything like that. So I don't know, people are just fascinated with twins. So I will show you the bump. There's the bump. And here is closer look at the bump. So I think it's pretty big. I have the linea negra. I don't have any stretch marks yet. My belly button's probably gonna pop out. Sorry if you don't like that. So guys, I thank you for being so patient with me and for coming back and watching this video. I hope that this is helpful to someone, and I hope that you can just find encouragement from it. Infertility is a crazy, crazy ride, but oh, I'm so happy and I am so grateful that this second time worked. And oh my gosh, I truly believe it was because of the ERA test. So if you're on the fence about that test, I would just get it done if they recommend for you to get it done, because honestly I think that's the reason why we're pregnant now, because I have my extra dose of medicine and it worked. Both embryos attached, and I don't know if they were we didn't know if they were genetically normal or not because we never did testing on our embryos. So thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.